In a moment, I'm going to take questions from the floor, but I really wanted to pose a question particularly to the two leading businessmen here, Bill and Richard. A lot of the people who are watching Davos outside in the rest of the world, and they see this gathering of very wealthy people, very wealthy, successful business people who've for years been getting richer and richer, and suddenly we're seeing this terrible crisis. And I think many of them say there was a values failure amongst the wealthy that actually contributed to this failure, and therefore do we need to have a different set of values to get our way out of the crisis? I'd be interested in both of your reactions as to whether you think there's an ethical dimension to the crisis that we're now in. Bill? Go ahead. Richard goes first on this one.
Well, sorry. I mean, I think despite what's happened in the last few months, in particular with the banks, that capitalism still is the only system that really works. I think that you may prove me wrong here, but I think that all those thousands of little businesses out there with people, people fighting to improve things, make things better, it does work. One of the problems of capitalism is that extreme wealth ends up in the hands of a few people. And therefore extreme responsibility, I think, goes with that wealth. And I think it's absolutely essential that people who are lucky enough to get into that position, that they redistribute that wealth either through creating new jobs and creating new businesses, or using their entrepreneurial skills to tackle some of the intractable problems of the world. And in that way, I think capitalism can have a good name rather than a bad name, and we won't end up with going backwards and ending up with some kind of system that just doesn't work in the future.
Bill, I mean, can a system go this badly wrong without that having been the result of an ethical failure? And do you think values play a role in how we get out of here?
Well, I don't think the failure was fundamentally an ethical failure. There have been people making money in capricious ways for a long time, the good years and the bad years. And you can always look at that and say, what kind of a system rewards those skill sets in that way? And people are uncomfortable with it. But that's not what fell apart here. Here we had some severe imbalances that led to when people finally looked at their savings rate, you got the knock-on effect because of what Soros calls reflexivity, or Keynes called animal spirits, that causes minor and major cycles. My whole thing about philanthropy is to represent the point of view that it's fun and fulfilling. It's fun for the individual to apply your skills in a different way. In my case, to work with Melinda on philanthropy, bring in new smart people, get to work with different people. So I'm more selling the carrot part. Will it really get more rich people involved in giving? That'd be nice. We'll certainly, try and get the word out that people should feel great about giving, and that there are more models of success, both within a country or going from rich countries into poor countries. And I think that'll start to draw people in a bigger way. But it's a movement that its improvements will take place in a 5 and a 10-year time frame. I don't think you're going to see something super that changes in a big way. And in the short run, this is certainly a negative thing. But I don't think finger pointing is, I don't think there's some villain that we're finally going to catch. He did it. If we hadn't just done that one little thing, all that overspending, it would have been just fine, and it never would have caused a problem. We're in a cycle that will largely never get rid of the fact that these come from time to time.
Okay, Mohammed, do you share this view? I mean, are you more critical of the ethical roots of this current crisis?
Let me put it this way. Capitalism is not whether good or bad, we abandon it or move to something else. This is the system which works, and this is a system we will to live with. But the present system, the complaint I make, that present system is based on an idea of or interpretation of human being very narrowly. In a business world, human beings that you see in the capitalist system, in the capitalist theory, that is almost like a one-dimensional person. All he does, make money. He has no other scope. Maximization of profit is his mission. That's what the textbook says. That's what the theory says. That's a very narrow interpretation. I keep saying that human being is much broader than just money-making robots. There are a lot of other things he would like to enjoy, he does enjoy. That in the business world, we can't do that. That's why Bill Gates has to become a philanthropist, to get out of the business world, because that's what giving him pains, that I have not done anything. So he has to do something.
I'll let you reply to that in a moment.
So I've said, if there is a kind of self-centeredness about this, without making any moral judgment about it, that everything has to be for me. That's what the businessman's goal is. I want to make profit. I want to share this profit with my shareholders, and so on. What about
and create things?
Yes. What about the selflessness part of human being? Why can't it be accommodated within the business, within the world of economics? Create a new kind of business which is for others, nothing for me. So people will have a choice how they will combine both. I'm not saying somebody will go this way, somebody will get that. They will divide themselves. They will divide the profit maximizing business. This will be means for them to make money, and they will be using this money to do the social businesses, to change the world, to make a difference in the world, and that will be the end of this business. There's a means, there's an end. Today, within economics, there is only making money is means, and making money is the end. It doesn't make sense. We have to make an impact. We have to make a signature on this planet. We were here, and I was here from such and such time to such and such time. This is what I did. And this is my satisfaction that I have done something to touch the lives of the other people. So I would say capitalist system now is a half-done system. It needs to be completed to accommodate other parts of human being. So that's the only suggestion that I'll make.
So, Bill, briefly, was the foundation about the nice bill escaping from the nasty bill at Microsoft, or is it more subtle than that?
No, I'm as bad or as good as I ever was.